Yes, my name is Simon Tabana, the principal of Rebonwe Primary School in Ivory Park. And the school has a roll of about 2,070. It's actually a big school, and we are soldiering on with whatever we have in that vicinity. I just have to say that I'm so grateful to be in this program, that is PFP, with my wonderful partner Richard from IWMS, and we have been working together very well.
So my name's Richard Evans. As Simon said, I run a business called IWMS, and we're quite a small growing business, and it's been quite fun being involved in the partnership, and I think it was a really great time for me and my business to be involved with this. And I think, potentially the small business didn't help in some ways, but it really helped the business to be involved in this.
As the one slide is coming in there, we are trying to depict to you the things that we have gained through this program. As an individual, as a principal of Rebonwe Primary School, I really got a lot of assistance and advice coupled with support in the program, because there were a number of things that we were engaging. As we go on, we shall be elaborating as to what was that kind of support, assistance as we moved on.
I really look at education as a root cause that you get to when you boil down some of the issues we have in South Africa, and you look at crime, you look at unemployment, you look at a number of things. You really dig down into where does that root cause start and what's causing that, and you get to education, which was why I was interested in PFP to begin with. Was I wanted to get some exposure to what was actually happening on the ground in these schools that had 2,000 kids and had 73 kids in a classroom, and understand the difficulties that the schools and the teachers and the principals were going through. So Simon's going to talk about the school, but just that first picture is really to show you how full the school is, and that it's 2,000 kids, and that we have classrooms that look like this on a daily basis.
That is our assembly area with the teachers in the background. We always assemble here 3 days per week. That is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We talk about several things, achievements, and so forth. So all those learners that you see on the slide are learners that are going to be placed in about 36 classrooms. Like Richard has said, you'll find each class having about 70 learners. It's a huge number, and sometimes it's very, very challenging for our educators to cope. Can you imagine assessment and so forth? It's not easy. And as we go on, we shall indicate as to how did we go about trying to elevate that kind of a challenge together with Richard.
The school has a real problem kind of getting either the teachers to training, the kids to a sports event, whatever it is. They really just need something that can get 15 people to an event, or do a couple of trips and do more than that. And then the final thing is in the big classes, we spoke a lot about in the beginning about the kids that were kind of getting left behind. I mean, for those of you who have taught and our principals, and I'm sure all us business leaders as well, can you imagine being in a teacher with a class of 70 kids and trying to work out who are the 5 kids that are being left behind, or the 10 kids who are being left behind? So those were the challenges we kind of went into this with.
Okay, maybe to add on a little bit. In terms of transport, our school is participating extensively so in terms of extramural activities. We have a very, very vibrant netball teams. We are always winning trophies. The athletics are participating very well. The music teams, but our challenge to ferry these learners to this kind of destination is a challenge, because you'll find that this kind of predicament exhausts a lot of funds from our coffers, which we don't have. And you must also bear in mind that we don't pay school fees. It's a no-fee school. So we are relying on the grant that is given from the department, but that grant doesn't cater for activities like this one, like extramural activities, and we have so much passion in terms of this engagement. So it will be very, very ideal for us to be able one day to acquire our own transport so that we can be able to deal with that kind of a challenge.
How did the partnership address the challenges, or more appropriately, how are we doing it? Because a lot of this is still in motion. So to begin with, one of the things we've done, and what's great is we've actually done this successfully, and we're starting to see the benefits from it and starting to now ramp this up and roll it out to more classes, is we got brain boosters involved. So we took a grade R class. We got the teachers trained. That teachers actually subsequently left, but we've got the replacement up and running on the methodology now, and it's being used every day, and we've seen enough benefit to say, okay, now for the next year, let's try and get all the grade R classes working on brain boosters. For those of you who don't know what brain boosters is, it's there to bridge the gap between, or just one of the stats that they always talk about is, kids who grow up in suburbia come to school having heard 3 million words. They've heard no 1 million times, but they've heard it, they've heard 3 million words in total. Where often the kids that are coming out of the townships have only heard about 1 million words in that same time frame, because there's a very different level of early schooling and stuff like that. So what Brain Boosters tries to do is bridge that gap as quickly as you can in the first couple of years of school to get those kids back on track. As well as, one of the key things is it's designed for big classrooms. So all the kids that work on it, they work on an individual set of cards or whatever it is that they're doing. And the example I always like is the teacher will stand at the front and say, show me the color red, and they've got 10 different colors in front of them, and they've got to pick out the red card and hold it up. And what that allows the teacher to do is to stand up at front like this and see that, oh, that table over there is the kids who are struggling with understanding what red is. Because of course the kids see what the other one's doing, but she can start to identify that out of the 75, here are a few areas I need to focus on where I can see the kids who are struggling.
Yes, I just want to commend again, Richard was definitely an initiator in this program. He told me about it, and I had to look at it, and then I definitely bought into it, because when I look at it, it was indeed an excellent activity. Because the first presentation when was made, I was in there, but my partner saw this and track back and look at the challenges that we have in this, in terms of these bigger numbers. And then he suggested this. I bought in, we paid it, and the program is now up and running. The teacher that left because of greener pastures left the experience with the teacher that is remaining. So the teacher currently is getting into grips with all the necessity of these programs. And I say again, thank you to Richard for that kind of an initiative.
So then the other thing that we're doing, that we are a fair bit down the road, but mostly in theory rather than in actual practical results or anything like that, is the catch-up classes. And what we're trying to do here is give the school an ability to get the kids that are really struggling out of the mainstream for those first 3 years, so that we can have smaller classes with a maximum of 20 kids where the teachers can be dedicated to them. Obviously this requires funding, right? Because we've got to build some new classrooms, we've got to pay the teachers and stuff like that. But the idea on how this helps with overcrowding is by reducing the class numbers, even if it's just 5 kids out of the classes or 7 kids out of each of those classes. It takes it from 70 to 63. Anything at this point will help. So just to finish up on those, the key thing is the budget, adding the new classrooms. and then really the sales pitch, because it's not going to happen out of funding that, you know, we can provide from either the school or my business. We need to get buy-in from big corporates that this is a better way to spend their money than potentially funding some of the other things that are out there, you know, getting funded a lot and are maybe far too late in the process because the kids are already too old to be catching up on fundamentals like what we're trying to do here. Okay, so on the transportation. So one of the things to say on this is that Simon's done an excellent job of fundraising over the years, and actually has, what did we say on Friday?
Yes, we said currently the money in our coffers is about 145,000, and we have managed to strike a deal with one stationery company, and they've promised that after we have paid all the amount for the books that we have purchased this year, they shall be able to inject around about 45,000. So maybe by the end of the year we could be saying we are at about 190 grand. So it is an achievement indeed. But when we look at the kumbi that we need, it will need around about 350,000. So at least about 100 grand will still be outstanding on that venture.
So what we've been trying to do to help out with this is we've been trying to find a way that we can get the combis or get the combi branded and get that paid for, so that there's ongoing revenue for maintenance of it once we have the combi, or potentially have an upfront payment to help us pay it, or pay financing or something like that. We've also been talking with manufacturers and trying to see if they can help us out with better prices, and you know how that's been going, right? And then, you know, just finally on this one, we wanted to say on here, we need your help. You know, we've really tried hard. Simon's done a great job on the fundraising. We haven't really got the traction we thought we would get on the branding or with the manufacturers. So if anyone does have an idea or does have a connection, we would love to hear it, because we really would like to get this right. And also one of the things is the school's been fundraising for quite a while to get that amount of money. So the clock's a little bit ticking. We need to now deliver something back to the school so that the parents all see that. We can't just keep asking for that amount of money without delivering something. So if you can help us, we'd appreciate it. Yeah. So I think this slide was around, you know, what did we get out of you know, the PFP program. And a big thing that Simon and I 100% agree on is that we got a huge amount out of the training. So to be honest with you, a little bit this might be my personality type, but I kind of went into it saying, you know, the training's just something I have to do to get to Simon to fix the school, rather than realizing that the training was actually the key, which is what it turned out to be. And I've just personally got so much out of the training, and considering I was going in thinking you know, it was going to be all the same stuff I've had for the last 10 years, I was quite impressed with that, and I've got to commend all the people from PFP for putting that together. You know, I have little things. I have this which I wear every day to work, because it reminds me to collaborate with people rather than to tell them what I want them to do. My screensaver on my computer actually has the quote that we put together, I think, in the community building challenge, and I see that every single day, and it reminds me, you know, what my goal is and what I'm actually striving for. So yeah, I just think the training was outstanding, and we both gained a lot.
In terms of training, the training was very great in different kind of dimensions. That is flawless thinking, community building, and what is the other one? Time to think. And we definitely want to thank Heidi for this wonderful exercise. We definitely benefited. As I'm speaking now, I don't know whether it was on Wednesday or Tuesday, we were able, together with my general assistant, the one who's videoing now, to influence parents to come and clean our garden. And you might guess what he has done himself. He managed to get few loaf of breads, some little meat, and some cold drinks for the parents to do that wonderful job for us. And as I speak now, the garden is spotlessly clean. And I just have to thank him and thank Heidi for that kind of skills that we obtain from community building. Engage your parents to love the schools and come and do the work voluntarily so. And it's now happening. And we're still going to look at other activities whereby we are going to engage the parents to assist us in many spheres. And we say, thank you, PFP, for a wonderful job that you are doing to this community and to this country. When more than one hand are put together, you are able to accomplish a task. So we're putting this picture there that if that things happen, definitely there is hope. We had to take a quote from one of the authors, Norman Vincent Peale. Norman Vincent Peale says, lots of people limit their possibilities by giving up easily. Never tell yourself, this is too much for me. It's no use. I can't go on. If you do, you are licked. And by your own thinking, too. Keep believing and keep on keeping on. So this is an encouragement that if we have a hope, never give up. Just strive on, and eventually your goal or what you admire is going to be achieved. So that's the code that we use for that kind of encouragement. Give up yourself. We have been given business partners like Rich himself, and other schools have been given business partners for you to be able to learn and also acquire something. You just have to give up yourself. Allow advisors, allow to be assisted so that people that are there are able to work with you. So we say, give yourself, avail yourself. We had this program with PFP. It's no use for PFP to organize workshops and meetings, only to find that ourselves, as principals, we are not coming to those kind of workshops. It's definitely a futile exercise. But if you give yourself, people will be coming more and more to assist you. So that was our idea in terms of that. Keep calm and accept help. It doesn't have to be arrogant. It doesn't have to be arrogant. If we are two people, we are working on something, and this one is pulling that side, and this one is pulling on the other side, you won't achieve a thing. There should be somebody who is submissive and be able to listen so that you can be able to achieve. You see, when two bulls fight on the ground, what suffers? The ground. But if you have that kind of engagement, able to share, able to listen to one another, definitely something is going to be achieved through that kind of an interaction.
Okay, so my benefits, I think, I've spoken already about my leadership development. I definitely think I'm a different leader to my business than I was 18 months ago, and that I've learned to be a mentor, and I've managed to actually bring that into my business and mentor more people than I was, which is good for them. I'm sure they're happy. And then, kind of keep calm and be a leader is one of the important things, because with my personality type, I love to get involved and I love to just do everything and do all the work and stuff like that. But when I was mentioning earlier where my organization is, because we're growing, I'm not able to do that anymore. And it was really PFP that gave me the tools to be able to step back and say, you know what, there's parts of the business that I just can't be involved in anymore, and other people need to run with that, and I need to mentor them rather than be in the day-to-day of what they're doing. And then the other thing is, so this quote, we cannot hold a torch to light another's path without brightening our own. I really feel that, through this process, I've enriched my own life just, by being involved with Simon and being involved with the school. I've learned so much and I've just gained from it. And a lot of it is, I'm finding it hard to articulate right now, because it's something else that I've gained from it. It's understanding, it's spiritual, it's, feeling closer to the country as a whole, being out of my comfort zone repeatedly a number of times through the process and getting through that, and having a new comfort zone that includes you know, the schools, and includes a lot of things that it didn't 18 months ago. It's been great and hugely beneficial. And then, just because I had so many things I wanted to say, the other thing is, so the guys from the group will know, Simon and I are both Chiefs fans. So this was our picture to represent friendship, because we really have come away with it, you know, with the friendship, and that will carry on regardless of what's happening with the school and what we're doing. And, you know, that's just wonderful to come out with that. As I mentioned a little bit before, I really feel I'm closer to the realities of the country, and I think, you know, having lived overseas for a long time and then coming back a few years before we started this, you know, you lose touch, and I think I'm much more in touch now. Then just the school, it's been great to be involved with the school and see what they're doing, and see what they're doing for over 2,000 learners, and that, you know, they are a group of people who are really trying to do the best that they can for those kids. And I'm sure as we move forward over the next couple of years, we'll continue to do a good job and improve it and do a better and better job. And, you know, I really respect Simon for all his effort that he puts into the school, and that he's willing to do all the stuff he mentioned on his slide, to put the school first and always find ways to do the best for his students. And then the other thing is, be the kind of leader that you would follow. I think I would much rather follow me now than I would 18 months ago. And, you know, that is a huge benefit and a huge realization on my part.
I thank Richard for everything. I've already thanked PFP. Our relationship with Richard will never end. It is going to grow beyond the school to the family side and so forth. This is an everlasting relationship. And I thank this program for this wonderful benefit. Thank you.